ज्योति स्टेनो टाइपिंग कॉलेज में आप सभी का स्वागत है बच्चों। ये काफ़ी इम्पॉर्टेंट डिक्टेशन है और ये जो डिक्टेशन बच्चा अच्छे से लिखता है और इसमें 95% प्लस एक्यूरेसी लाता है तो उसका एसएससी के अंदर ग्रेड सी के अंदर सिलेक्शन होना 100%, मतलब 100% है, चयन होना संभव है 100%। तो ये जो डिक्टेशंस हैं तो इनको अच्छे से लिखिए, फिर इसको पढ़िए, फिर इसको वेबसाइट पे जाके टाइप भी कीजिए। ये वेबसाइट है jyotistenotipingcollege.com। इससे पहले जितनी भी डिक्टेशंस पढ़ी गई हैं 80 की स्पीड की, 100 की स्पीड की, पिछले साल अब के साल, वो सब डिक्टेशनें वहाँ पर अवेलेबल है। वहाँ उनको टाइप कर सकते हैं, एक्यूरेसी जान सकते हैं। PDF जिनकी चाहिए तो वो 80 वाले में मिल जाती हैं, और इनकी भी चाहिए तो जनरल डिक्टेशन के नाम से जैसे एक फ़ोल्डर होगा। तो ये जो मैं पढ़ रहा हूँ डिक्टेशन, ये उस टाइम पर जनरल डिक्टेशन के नाम से जैसे कराई गई थी, तो उसमें इनकी PDF आपको मिल जाएंगी। तो डिक्टेशन अब मैं पढ़ने जा रहा हूँ 100 के लिए। ये डिक्टेशन नंबर 4 है, न्यू डिक्टेशन। डिक्टेशन स्टार्ट आफ्टर 5 सेकेंड। Mr. Vice Chairman, sir, I am grateful to you for giving me an opportunity to participate in this debate. I would like to express hope that the Defence Minister must have noticed that in this debate, barring a few exceptions, everybody had to say something which was constructive in needs approach. Everybody had applauded the work and the sense of duty of the Jawans and their officers. Everybody had congratulated the efforts so far made in equip our army with better weapons. At the same time, everybody had to offer some criticism or other. I hope that the Defence Minister, taking into account the anxiety of honourable members of the House about the defence of our country, will treat it as a national question and not as a party question. He should be equally frank and tell us what they are doing to secure the sovereignty and integrity of the country. From that point of view, I must say, at the very start, the report of the Defence Minister has disappointed us. In the opening paragraphs, I find, instead of giving a picture and the background of international relations and the problems that have cropped up, a very humdrum sort of approach is made as if nothing has changed after 1965, that is, after the Tashkent Declaration. Only regret has been expressed that in spite of the Tashkent Declaration, Pakistan is not ready to observe the terms of the agreement, of the spirit of the agreement, and that China and Pakistan are still in collusion. Sir, I would have liked the Defence Ministry to tell us how they view the situation in the entire region. It is not only Pakistan on one side and China on the other side. They have been our enemies for a long time, but even the Indian Ocean is now threatened. There is a regular competition between the USA and the USSR. If the Defence Ministry wanted to give a complete picture of the situation, I should have thought that they would have given us all the facts, the claims, or the ambitions entertained by Russia and the USA. The British are withdrawing. All these ought to have been part of this report. Sir, the three services have been dealt with in separate chapters, but again, I would like to point out very curiously, while dealing with the army, it would appear that we have got our forces stabilized at about 8 lakh personnel. We must not forget the fact that this army really consists of two armies, one committed to the Himalayan border and the other to the Pakistan border. That means we have got only half the army on one side and the other half is on the other side. These cannot be exchanged. Their equipment is different, their tactics are different, the atmosphere or the terrain in which they are functioning or expected to function is different. Anything can happen on the Punjab side. About the Navy, I would say very briefly, the Navy has been a neglected child in our defense plan ever since independence. Of course, there has been a certain advance. I still feel that the allocation made for the Navy is too small, and just as I have said that there should be two armies, I would like to say that there should be two navies also, one on the western coast and one on the eastern coast, because the danger from both these areas is very great. India will have to depend in the time of crisis for all our supplies on these sea lines, which ought to be protected. Then, sir, about the Air Force, I would say that the key word in all our strategy seems to be defense. If somebody attacks us, then we react to that, at least so far as the Air Force is concerned. I would say we must have an Air Force which should be able to command the skies. If the enemy is likely to attack, we must be able to invade the enemy air space, and it should be possible for us to destroy their bases and equipment and whatever it is. The third point is about the question of research and development. My honorable friend mentioned that we are not spending enough money on research and development organization. According to the budget figures, we expect to spend 17 crores this year. This is a very pitiful sum. I would rather say in regard to defense and in regard to research and development, we will be more and more dependent on foreign imported ammunition and materials, and we want that to cease. I would also like to ask the defense minister to tell us whether he is developing a cadre of scientists among defense personnel to man this ministry, or whether he is going to get scientists from outside to work in this ministry. It is possible for him to take up young men who show a scientific bent of mind, who are in the armed forces, and induct them into this research and development organization so that they may have practical experience to back them up in regard to academic work in connection with research and development. I would like to go on to one final point before I closed, and that is the territorial army. According to this report, the territorial army's strength has been fixed at 50,000. It is a good number, but for a country which is going to face many difficult problems in defense, particularly in the east and in the north, I would like the strength of the territorial army to be brought up to 1 lakh. It is also necessary that the territorial army should be expanded, because the expansion of the territorial army will strengthen indirectly the forces of integration this country if it works properly. नौ सौ 97 वर्ड हैं। सॉरी 976 हैं, 997 पिछले में थे 8.5। ये 110 के आसपास स्पीड रही है और जो है वेबसाइट पे इसको लगा दिया गया है। इंग्लिश 100 WPM न्यू डिक्टेशन के नाम से जो है न्यू इंग्लिश 100 WPM डिक्टेशन या इंग्लिश न्यू 100 WPM डिक्टेशन के नाम से फोल्डर है, उसके अंदर डिक्टेशन नंबर 4 है। इसको वहाँ जा पहले पढ़िए और वहाँ जाके टाइप कर दीजिए। इस क्लास के लिए इतना ही बच्चों, नमस्कार बच्चों।